Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Breakfast All Day. We made it through another week. Hooray for us. Matt, Christy, Alonso, we got news, we got marquees, we got all the things that happened since the last time we all spoke.
Are you guys so pumped for Elon Musk hosting SNL on Saturday?
No. I know I'm making myself sound even more like a grandpa when I say this, but I took it out of my TiVo.
Oh, so you haven't watched it in a while?
No. I do watch
this
SNL.
episode.
I just took this episode out of my
This
TiVo.
particular one, is this like your silent protest?
Basically, yeah. I'm just not going to feed that beast.
And Miley Cyrus is your musical guest. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Miley Cyrus is interesting, but Musk on
I mean, just if only from the point of view of like the many talented comedians and performers who could be filling that slot. And granted, there have been some interesting, like every so often you get an athlete who winds up being really funny or a politician who's game. But like, I just, why?
Look, I would put Joe Rogan on before I would put Elon Musk. I would be more interested in watching Rogan than Elon Musk because at least Rogan's got a history as a comic. Like, say what you will about whatever dopey shit that he says. Like, dude knows at least how to perform.
Wow, don't make me choose.
I understand, but what's Elon Musk going for? Like, he's a rich guy? Like, okay. I mean, it's not like he invented electric cars. Let's be clear.
No.
Right? He hired a bunch of people. Like, okay, that doesn't make him a fucking genius.
No.
And he's only the second richest guy in the entire world.
Whatever. I have a more important thing to discuss. I got a new mug in Palm Springs at the Reef, and you can see it's like a little helmet, like
diving helmet,
old diving helmet, old timey diving helmet with a little
an octopus. Is that your octopus teacher, Matt?
It is not, but there's a little clownfish on the other side.
It's Dory.
It's from the Reef.
Nemo.
I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, it's from the Reef,
nice.
Which is at the Caliente Tropics Resort in Palm Springs, which I was there over the weekend seeing my mom. And
this is not a commercial.
No, but we went out and had Mai Tais, and I got a mug.
Breakfast All Day is brought to you by the Caliente Resort and Spa.
Exactly.
For all your hotel needs in the greater La Quinta area.
Visit the mug shop.
Exactly.
So as Matt points out, Matt is traveling. As I was about to say, this is a good segue to the thing I was about to mention, which is that LA County is now in the yellow tier, which is the least restrictive tier. This means that as of yesterday, you can have people at indoor bars at 25% capacity, and gyms and movie theaters and stadiums and museums. They're all around 50% capacity. Saturday night, we're going to go to a Kings game, Chris and Nick and I, and we have to show our vaccination cards. And I had to go get Nick COVID tested so I can show the result on my phone that my kid does not have COVID.
Wow.
So things are opening up, and there's hope.
My mom got her second dose weeks ago, and she's got a place in La Quinta, and she was there. She's lives solo, and then I had gotten mine a couple of weeks back, and so I'm driving there, so I'm not really interacting with anyone. It's like a long drive to go see somebody else's house or at their home, like having two households, right? It was just me. We did go to this restaurant for dinner or for lunch. We sat outdoors, and it was funny because as I asked the server, like, do we need to have our masks on until we get served? He's like, I don't care.
Oh, it's a different county.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
It's Riverside County, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, marks 2 days after, or 2 weeks, after my second vaccine, or as I like to call it, fully 5G'd. So yeah, I'll be tiptoeing my way back out of the world.
The hot tub review show over here, we're going to be ready to do.
I need a wetsuit tuxedo first.
Well, Alonso and I were talking on the phone this week about when the three of us can get together again in person. Like, I'm happy to do it whenever you guys want. I'll schlep to West Hollywood. We can go do it at Alonso's house.
I'm down. I think it would be lovely to have y'all here.
I'm ready. Matt, will you get in your car and get on the 405?
Well, I'll have to, right? Yeah, sure.
You could take Sepulveda.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah,
take Laurel over the hill until it becomes Crescent Heights.
It's fine. I like the real issue. This is where we lose half our audience. Like the real issue is when do we start making Alonso drive to our homes?
Well, my car needs some work at the moment, but I'm down for that. I'm not going to force y'all to be here every week or anything like that. So yes, all of those are on the table.
We'll begin in person again. The new Beverly Theater reopens on June 1st.
Yes.
So and Frank's opened last night. We have friends who posted that the Fargo Theater in Fargo, North Dakota, where they show such cool stuff, that reopened last week.
Some of that will come up in the marquee discussion today.
Tremendous. What a nice team.
I think the Landmark opens today and the New Art opens on the 21st. So different LA
ArcLight opens
Never. Yeah. Although there was some extremely vague clickbait story out there on Twitter this past week about how like people are in talks to possibly ponder things involving the ArcLight, and then you click on the story and there's like no news in it whatsoever.
Right. There was one company that had said, we've thrown our hat in the ring. I mean, it's the thing we talked about last week, right? Like, especially that Hollywood spot, that's not easily converted into retail space, which retail was getting killed anyway. Although it'll be interesting to see if there's a brief, and by brief, I mean a year or so, resurgence in retail, because people are like, I have to get out of the fucking house and do something. Yeah. So, what's going to complicate things, the one new piece of information I had seen in one of those stories is that the company that owns Decurion, the company that owns Pacific and ArcLight, owns the land that the dome itself sits on, but the rest of that complex is owned by somebody else. So the ArcLight multiplex sits on other people's land.
Oh, wow.
But the dome is still owned outright by the Pacific Theaters people.
Well, speaking of people wanting to get ready to be out in the world again, a friend of mine sent me a picture of a gas station sign. And I don't know where this was, somewhere in the Southern California area, but like they were charging upwards, getting up to $6 a gallon for gas. Like, I feel like the oil companies are about to gouge us because we need them again after, a year of not buying so much gas.
And summer's coming. Memorial Day weekend's coming. Summer's coming. People doing road trips and traveling. That's all.
Right. And then in LA, I don't know what it's like the rest of the country, but in Southern California, you hear from the oil companies, they're switching to the summer blend.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's got Arizona iced tea in it. I don't know.
I was going to say, does it have like SPF 30 in it? Like, what? I'm confused. What is the summer blend?
Sun in.
It's got weed in it.
Oh my gosh. So also some interesting news this week. The FDA has approved the Pfizer vaccine for kids ages 12 to 15 as early as like next week.
Okay.
So
okay,
good.
That's awesome. If my kid were 12, I would totally sign him up for that. So it's very exciting that they feel like, it's doing what it was supposed to do. It does what it says on the box, as Matt is fond of saying. So that's
sorry about the chirpy birds, by the way. They're very chirpy.
They're chirpy.
Never apologize for audio in a podcast is what a listener told me once.
Yes. So there was an interview in the LA Times with Steven Soderbergh about the Oscar broadcast and about the decision to do Best Actress and Best Actor after picture. And he says that was always the plan. That even before nominations, the plan was always to kind of shake it up, because his logic was that the actors' speeches are more emotional and more memorable than whatever producer stands up there and thanks a million agents. And so supposedly that was always the game plan. And then Chadwick Boseman got nominated. So there was like the extra possible excitement of what an emotional send-off that will be if his widow accepts his Oscar on his behalf. And then it just didn't shake out that way. But supposedly it was always the game plan.
Yeah, which actually makes sense. I mean, when I read that, I was like, okay, yeah, it's true, because award shows do always end with like whether it's the Tonys and best play or the Oscars, but best picture. Yeah, you do wind up with the producers, and bless their hearts, they get the job done and they got the movie made, but they aren't as interesting at the podium as actors tend to be. So I see the logic there.
I think the only producer award that I can even really remember someone saying, and it was from someone who didn't actually win, was the guy from La La Land. It's like, oh wait, Moonlight Guys, you actually won this.
Jordan Horowitz.
Yeah.
Yes. Julia Hart's husband.
Yes.
Jinx.
Yes. Marvel did a big teaser this past week, this 3-minute long, very glossy, very inspiring video about how we all need to go back to the movies again. And they laid out their slate for the next few years, including some title changes and some updated release dates. Black Panther, the sequel, will now be called Black Panther Wakanda Forever. They are not recasting Chadwick Boseman, as we know. It's very smart.
They also just dropped the synopsis today, which is extremely vague, but says we're going something along the lines of, we're going to learn more about the characters that we love that were introduced in Black Panther. So, yeah.
Otherwise known as a sequel.
Right. But it was worded like, we're going to focus on other people because
sure, yeah.
Chadwick's not in it. The other, right. They also in that teaser, they showed our first looks at footage from the Eternals.
Right. Which looks beautiful. It's got Chloe Zhao-ishness all over it, and her longtime DP. And then of course that resulted in this interview with Kevin Feige that was getting, put all over Twitter about how, wow, like she just set up the camera and like there's a sunset and it's beautiful. It's like, wow.
It never occurred to us before.
Practical effects. You let the sun set and you shoot it. So
right. Except that we all learned from Michael Cimino what a fucking money suck that can be, because he was trying to shoot the entirety of Heaven's Gate during the golden hour.
Well, but look, that Heaven's Gate has its own passive issues because, Terrence Malick did it for Days of Heaven and it was great. And he didn't, I don't think, went flamingly over budget. So
yeah. So
yes, chasing golden hour can be a real money suck for sure.
So besides the Wakanda Forever thing, so that's coming out July 8th of next year. Captain Marvel 2 is now called The Marvels. It's coming out November of 22. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out in May of 23. And of course, we have 4 entire Marvel movies to look forward to this year alone because things got bumped from COVID last year. So Black Widow comes out on July 9th. Shang-Chi comes out on September 3rd.
Shang-Chi.
Is it Shang-Chi? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Eternals, which you just mentioned, is November 5th. And then the new Spider-Man is December 17th. So a whole lot of Marvel on the back end of this year.
When is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness? Is there a date for that? Or was that included in this?
2022.
Okay.
I don't recall that there was a date on that one. But anyway, but it's all in there. It's phase 4.
Right, and it was.
And I only know Shang-Chi because Christy shared with me the tweet from Matt did. Sorry, it's a group chat. I don't always know who's sending me what. Matt sent us a tweet from the actor who's in the film.
Right.
Oh, good.
Simu Liu.
Yes.
And it was a handy thing on how to pronounce his name.
Yes, and the
he
title
says
of the
your
film.
your friendly hashtag Asian Heritage Month reminder: Simu Liu. Shang-Chi, and Dad. And he ends with, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Did you, Christy, as we're talking about like, hey, let's go back to the movies things, did you also catch the special message from Vin Diesel and the Fast and Furious thing?
No, is it cute?
No.
I mean, like wants to be cute. Yeah, it's Vin Diesel like driving around. He gets out of the car and he's like, we all love getting together. It's a little corny.
Hashtag family.
Yeah, it's a little corny. And he talks about, how great it is to go to the movies. And then it's a bunch of stuff from the film.
Does he drive to the movies 1/4 mile at a time?
In 10 seconds.
Forever.
Yeah. He watches a movie a quarter reel at a time.
Also, Star Wars: The Bad Batch came out this past week on Disney Plus. This is an animated series, which is an extension of the Clone Wars, and that Nick watched the first couple episodes and really liked it. Matt, have you watched it yet? Did you dig into that? I know you were going to.
Not yet. I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to. Are you going to talk about the controversy that came up
there's
yesterday?
a controversy, right?
Oh, is there? I don't know. What's
so there's a controversy that's particularly awesome considering that it's Asian American Heritage Month. There are accusations that and a lot of people kind of posted screenshots of both of these, the Bad Batch clones, which are all based off of Jango Fett, who was played by Tamara Morrison, who all looked fairly brownish in the original Clone Wars series have been lightened. Like their skin looks lightened. And so people are like, you whitewash these guys? What the fuck?
What did Disney say in response to that?
I don't think they've said anything yet, or not that I had read at the time that we're shooting this, but I know that there was some discussion about it. So
yeah, Morrison is a Pacific Islander. He's Maori, and so this is a thing.
Interesting. I have to look into that. I have to follow that. Other Disney news: Loki, the series Loki, which I think we should talk about on our Patreon because it looks so fun. It was supposed to premiere on June 11th. Now it's going to be June 9th. So that
it'll be on Wednesdays.
It'll be on Wednesdays. Yes. So people can watch it. We can watch it and then talk about it. It can be done.
I'm overthinking this, but there is something about him taking over his Father's Day. Right? Like Wednesday is for Odin. Thursday is for Thor.
I'd say Thor's Day would have been really the day to...
Well, right. Tyr got Tuesday and Frigg got Friday. So like, I kind of want to see Loki steal a day. And we get like, he changes one of them to like Loke's Day or something.
Loki's going to steal the weekend. Loki's all about fun. He's going to steal the weekend.
Weekend of the Lokis.
We have... Okay.
Night of the Lokis.
Caitlyn Jenner on her gubernatorial aspirational run here did a whole thing on Hannity. And among the things and also there's an article about this in USA Today. She's saying that trans girls should not play on girl sports teams because, quote, it just isn't fair. What do you guys think about that?
Caitlyn Jenner is not and has never been a trans activist. Caitlyn Jenner has been out for Caitlyn Jenner, and Caitlyn Jenner is a wealthy white person and will always see the world through that prism. And so pretty much as long as she's got hers in the classic Republican sense, the rest of us can all go fuck off. And so Caitlyn Jenner is a terrible candidate and I hope has no chance of becoming governor of California. As the meme that goes around says, do not misgender Caitlyn Jenner. Also, do not vote for Caitlyn Jenner because she's a piece of shit.
Also, in that same Hannity interview, she was talking about how what a shithole California has become. And the anecdote she shared was she was at her private airplane hangar, and the guy who has the hangar across from hers was packing up his stuff and leaving.
For Sedona. Leaving Malibu for Sedona. Because wherever you go in LA now, you're just stepping over homeless people. Like, gosh, she's so relatable. I know. For the average Californian. As somebody tweeted, when you almost get it, you know. Oh, God. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I have a whole tangent I would go off on, so forget it.
All right.
I'm trying to be quick today.
Thank you.
Sorry. For once, I won't.
Billy Crystal says, we're talking about Billy Crystal later on today because we're going to review here today. But Billy Crystal did an interview with the New York Post, speaking of conservative media outlets. And he says that comedy is a minefield now. It's hard to know how to be funny anymore. Which he completely explains here today.
Yeah, because clearly he doesn't know how to be funny anymore.
Not.
Boo fucking who. I swear to God, if I have to hear one more like old white comedian, or Chris Rock, I guess he's on this train too, like complain about how comedians can't be funny anymore. It's like, try not punching down. How about that? Like try finding topics that don't like rely upon having somebody be the butt of the joke, you know, who suddenly now, thanks to social media stuff, has a voice in the culture, whereas before you could shit all over them and they didn't have anything to say about it. It's ridiculous. And I love, there was somebody who made the joke about how, like, you know, watching the Mitchells versus the Machines, you know, the #1 movie on Netflix that everybody loves, and hearing comedians complain about how it's impossible to be funny anymore.
Right. I laughed my ass off throughout that entire movie. It's hilarious. Yeah. It can't be done. Is it just a matter of like laziness, of like not wanting to be challenged creatively? Is that what it is? Be
smarter. You think you're having a hard time being funny? Be smarter about it.
Right. Maybe get new material. The other thing is you don't seem to hear that from struggling comedians. You seem to hear that from the comedians that have done well and have money. Yeah. And maybe it's that they're, and maybe they're probably not that deep, but maybe it's like, man, nobody's buying our old stuff anymore.
Would it be churlish to point out that Billy Crystal used to go on Saturday Night Live in blackface to play Sammy Davis Jr.? Like, he's been doing this for a very long time. And if he's going to keep doing it, I think it's incumbent upon him to maybe like up his game and be ready for the 21st century. We
should explore this idea a little more when we get to our Here Today review, because the comedy in that movie, all the comedy sketches are just they're painful. They're just deadly. So we should explore this further later on. We have also, speaking of conservative people and media, Facebook is still banning Trump. But
for now,
but they're going to review it in the next 6 months or so and see if they want to bring him back. And just like, take a stand, decide one way or the other. No one owes Trump a platform.
No. And did you guys see the video of him like at Mar-a-Lago? Apparently he shows up Saturday nights at dinner and like goes off on a long tirade about how they're still finding stolen votes.
I saw that video got posted, and then various political writers were like, I wasn't sure if this really was new, because it's him harping on all the same stuff that could be 6 months old or whatever about
old man yells at cloud.
It's completely old man shakes fist at cloud. Yes, it is that.
It's the front. I mean, it's not frustrating, but to me, the most obnoxious thing about people who complain like, oh, you can't be funny in comedy, and or I'm getting deplatformed because I don't have my free speech rights and I can't say things, and people get mad because people are too woke. But like, God forbid you want to study critical race theory. God forbid you want to talk about the 1619 Project. Like, God forbid you want to talk about.
God forbid you take the rapiness out of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, the possibility of some kind of racial studies program in the high schools down here has caused great consternation on various social media platforms. Some parents are like, just know what it's about. Just look into this and see how you feel about this and make your feelings known. Other people are like, that's great if we're learning about racism because it's real, because it happens. So, like, what people are so afraid. What are they afraid of?
Having to answer for the tiniest bit of white supremacy, be it intentional or be it people having benefited from a system that was designed to benefit them and hurt others.
Well, it's all too easy to just like sit on your privilege and go about your life. And once you start paying attention and really like digging into it, it's like, oh shit, if I want to make things better for people, if I want to help, then that's a lot of work. Right.
Right.
And I think that's where like, oh no, I would just rather fool myself into thinking I'm a okay person than, which look, like, you can be an okay person and not necessarily, you don't have to like devote your whole life and, give up everything you have to make sure that there's some level of equality. Although, note to the Christians, that's what Jesus said to do.
Well, the people who like to scream loudest about moochers and welfare queens are also the people who get the angriest when you tell them that by being white or male or Christian or straight, that they got a leg up in society that other people didn't get. Oh, no, they earned everything. Everything they got, they bootstrapped it. But anybody else, then you're just on the corporate, on the welfare teat or whatever. It's ridiculous.
Speaking of very wealthy people, we have some sad news. Melinda Gates are divorcing after 27 years of marriage.
Was there a prenup?
I don't know. That's a good question. And then they built this giant foundation together. I mean, but 27 years ago, he already was super wealthy.
Yeah.
Right. And then they built this foundation together. But like, do you think that Melinda Gates and like Mackenzie Bezos are going to go out partying together? And
no, I think that we're going to. I a little bit wonder, especially like the initial follow-up stories were, some of this like really came to a head because Gates was chummy with Jeffrey Epstein. Right. And so now there's theories that like, maybe that's what broke up the Bezos too.
I'm sure both of those women signed so many NDAs that we'll never hear a peep from either of them.
Right. But it's more like, as the Maxwell case goes deeper and as more stuff is potentially revealed, how much do they need to distance themselves to protect themselves, be like, that was those fuckers. It wasn't us. We're not married anymore.
If Hillary Clinton finally files for divorce, then we'll know this is about to get really real.
And I bet also both these women have devoted a lot of time to building their foundations and using the extreme wealth to do good work. So maybe they want to protect that too, both financially and in terms of media scrutiny, whatever. A happier bit of news, Bennifer might be back.
I think that's just some sex, but who knows?
I mean, okay, so here's the deal. So we have, again, we have paparazzi stalking these people, but there is evidence that the Ben Affleck's been visiting Jennifer Lopez, that he drives to the Hotel Bel Air and she has sent a car for him, this white Escalade. He gets in the Escalade and supposedly the car ferries him to her house in Bel Air and they hang out for a few hours and then it drops him back off at his car. Also, there was this giant concert that was taped, I guess it was last week, this giant global citizen concert that was taped at SoFi Stadium here, and Jennifer Lopez was among the performers, Foo Fighters. It was a huge thing, and he was backstage with her. The return of Bennifer. I'm feeling nostalgic for like early aughts.
I love that Ben Affleck, like that's like primo gigolo treatment. Like, I'm going to send my Escalade to go get you
to the hotel.
To the hotel.
Well, he's single too. He's not dating Ana de Armas anymore.
No?
He's single too. So.
Look, I just want us to get the director's cut of Jersey Girl, which is much better than you might think it is.
Okay.
You don't believe me.
I don't. Couple things real fast, and then Matt's got marquees. Will Smith is doing a dad bod reality series on YouTube. He posted a photo of himself on Instagram saying that the pandemic has really taken a toll on him. He's like shirtless in like boxer shorts and his guts hanging out and he's all flabby, not the hunky buff Will Smith of action films of yore. And he wants to get into shape. He wants to get back into the shape that he was in his mid-50s.
I am reminded of, there was a documentary called like Bigger, Stronger, Faster or something that was about like, steroids and health supplements. And they talked about, they created a fake health supplement and they did an ad campaign for it. And they did the guy doing the before and after pictures on the same day. Yeah. And it was just a matter of like the angle and pushing your belly out and like slumping. And, so it's like basically the super fit guy could take the before picture at the very same time. So I suspect that Will Smith is in better shape than we think and is pushing his gut out a little so that he can have this amazing transformation on this YouTube show.
6
just
episodes
a theory
later. This could be
exactly. Look at me.
Show me your dad bod. Anyway, and a couple pieces of sad news. Billie Hayes died this week at age 96. Witchy poo, of course. You have any
and she was on Lidsville and a couple of other Sid and Marty Krofft stuff as well. She was really
Lidsville is a fucked up show.
Even by Sid and Marty Krofft stuff.
I was gonna say, even within the like hallucinogenic world of HR Puff and stuff and all that, like Lidsville is a fucked up show. Also, Olympia Dukakis has died at age 89.
Yes. Legend.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, Frank McRae.
Yes.
Frank McRae, who
the other security guard at Wally World.
Yes. Yeah. And he's the yelling lieutenant in Last Action Hero.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And License to Kill.
Yeah. Yeah. Frank McRae is that guy that was like, every time you see him, you're like, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to get, but he's kind of awesome.
He's the guy who says, sorry, folks, park's closed in Vacation.
The one who's not John Candy.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. That's anyway.
Yep.
Matt, do your marquees, please.
Okay. Here we go. Our first picture is from Geoff Swanson, who writes, while my home state of North Dakota hasn't had the best track record with COVID protocol, the gorgeous Fargo Theater has begun to open with a series of classic films. I'm sure you can guess what their first one is based on this marquee. And it's the Fargo kind of Art Deco style neon picture. And the marquee underneath says, here's looking at you, Fargo.
Yeah. Yay, Fargo Theater. We're happy you're back.
All the rep houses and all the cities in all the world, you had to come walking into mine.
Then I grabbed some other pictures because we're starting to see theaters reopen. So the Grand Lake reopened last weekend. and that's the theater where we've had some good marquees out of Oakland. This one says the Alameda Point Antique Fair reopens this Sunday at May 2nd, and then the Grand Lake reopens in late May with an exclamation point.
Nice.
Good.
Next up is the Beverly Cinema, which we talked about a little bit. Their sign says reopening June 1st, 2021. Why? Because we love showing movies.
Good. That'll be very exciting.
I mean, did we think that they hated it? This is the Northwoods Regal Theater in San Antonio, Texas. A lot of their theaters are opening this weekend, and you can see that they are very happy. They are opening May 7th.
Today.
And then today. Also, the Regal in Knoxville is opening, and just wanted to put up their happy little, yes, we're open again. And mom and her kid are wearing face masks.
Remember that insane Regal comeback video, like mid-pandemic?
Yes.
That was so okay. I saw the nightmares about that one.
Yes. And then another one we've checked in with before, the Loft in Tucson. This is a gorgeous picture that somebody took.
Talk about golden hour.
Right. And it says indoor screenings resume May 7th. Get tickets at loftcinema.org. And that is it for Marquise this week.
And screenings are back. In-person screenings are happening. We have to actually leave our houses again to go see a movie. I'm
going to my first one on Tuesday, which is going to be just me. But the week after that is one in a commercial theater with other critics. So
yeah,
it's all happening.
Yeah, I think my first is that one that's a week from Tuesday that we all got invited to.
Why are you being vague?
I don't know if we can talk about it.
Can't we say? I think we can say.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm going to see A Quiet Place a week from Monday. A Quiet Place 2.
That's my first one in the theater.
Are we all going to the 2 o'clock?
I think I haven't gotten a response
going to the
yet.
2.
I asked for the 2, so we'll see.
Yeah, but I don't think we can sit together.
Are we all going to see each other again? Yay! We got to take a picture.
For sure.
Bye. I think we're all going to the 2 o'clock. Yeah, but then I know there's also Spiral. I know there are Spiral.
That one,
right.
They were very insistent that we had to come see it. They would show it to us solo one at a time, but we had to come and see it at a place. So
we weren't offered solo one at a time. There are physical screenings like at the AMC.
Oh, okay.
Matt's
Alonso's fancy.
Well, but I have to see it before the embargo, so it's a whole thing. Anyway, I don't make the rules.
You boys can do Spiral next week. I am still trying to figure out the logistics of taking my child to swim practice and seeing movies and doing drop off. And he can make dinner for himself. He can walk to the pool and make dinner for himself. He'll be fine.
See,
he's as tall as you. He can drive, right?
He actually is like an inch shorter than I am. It's really, we're getting close. All right. Thank you guys for sending in marquees.
Yes, as always. Thank you for watching. Have a good week. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We are digging into a really exciting season of Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. And as Christy mentioned, coming up, we've got Loki and a lot of other fun stuff on the horizon. So you'll want to be part of that. Have a good week. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time. Bye.